Look, we've all been late, right? We've all tried our best, got everything in order, only to realize the train's been cancelled, an accident's happened, or Josh is insisting on going to the toilet yet again before filming. I mean, come on, Josh, you just went. Are you made of we? Anyway, as the 8th generation of consoles burst onto the scene, the industry moved forward, at least in theory. Online connectivity brought gamers together, our favorite fictional worlds got 10 times larger, and in terms of what's possible through sheer immersive technology, life is never better. You want to feed your Pokemon in real time as it sits on your couch right there in front of you? Well, by all means, chomp down those berries and then take a lovely selfie. It's brilliant. To accommodate all this though, many developers have adopted, sometimes without telling anyone, and sometimes by accident, a more long-term plan for their franchises. No longer is launch day the be-all end-all, and almost like the reverse of a space rocket detaching all its boosters along the way, all sorts of essential parts are then added after the fact to make sure that that destination can be reached. Sadly for all of us though, we tend to be along for the ride no matter how bumpy it gets. I'm Scott from WhatCulture.com, and these are 9 video games that added obvious features insanely late. Number 9, Lock On. DMC Devil May Cry. DMC Devil May Cry was Ninja Theory's attempt to reimagine the franchise before the PS4 and Xbox One dropped just 9 months later. Part of the upheaval was to take the character of Dante that we've all come to know and love and transform him into, well, not Dante, to be honest. DMC's strength, however, lied in its frantic, maniacal gameplay. The parallel dimension of Limbo was the venue for most enemy encounters, and while combat was enjoyable enough, the lack of a lock-on, something that even DMC 2 got right, was infuriating. There'd often be more than one enemy on screen to hack and slash your way through before advancing to the next stage as well. Harpies, Bathos, and Pathos all use their abilities to hover over the battlefield, and all can ruin your combo with one quick attack. It wasn't until the definitive edition of the game, released on PS4 and Xbox One in March 2015, that fans were able to set their sights on a single enemy to prevent those annoying attacks. The 2-year wait was frustrating, but the relief of targeting those pesky so-and-sos for immediate termination by way of a sword to the face was eventually satisfying. Number 8, Multiplayer. Stardew Valley. Released in February of 2016 to a sea of critical praise, Stardew Valley introduced gamers to the charming pelican town and its kooky inhabitants. As the new farmer in town, your job is to tend crops, build up your coffers, and woo the local townsfolk with a smattering of gifts and small talk before returning to the farm for a well-earned rest. The simple and joyful music perfectly complemented the light-hearted nature of the game. But as the farm expands, so too must your responsibilities. What was once a gleeful farming simulation quickly becomes a stress-inducing task manager where one more day is never enough. A new farmhand was in order, so a multiplayer component was an obvious choice to expand the empire you've created and share the workload. While lone developer Eric Concerned Ape Baroni continues to support the game with frequent updates 4 years into its life, it was August of 2018 before we'd see that multiplayer mode. Now that the component has been added as part of the 1.3 update, players are free to hop into a game through online multiplayer, continuing the fun with up to 3 others. Number 7, Photo Mode. Control. In the Instagram and social media fueled utopia we find ourselves in, there's always an intense desire to capture the perfect shot. Be it a sweeping landscape of a glamorous holiday or of your aesthetically pleasing morning coffee, which might have the letters FK in. It seemed obvious to incorporate a photo mode into AAA games to give players the opportunity to capture their favorite moments or gawk at the stunning visuals of their latest virtual adventure. There have been a plethora of titles, mostly from Sony exclusives, that include the feature, and while most are present at release, there are some instances where it's later incorporated. Control's visuals then are a sight to behold, so it seemed a given that developer Remedy Entertainment would add a method of capturing such impressive imagery. However, despite a global release date of August 27th, a dedicated photo mode was later released almost 2 months later on October 16th. The relatively short runtime of Control's single-player campaign, that goes for around 12 hours, meant that by the time the patch was released to the public, most were just too invested in the rest of the competition, like The Outer Worlds or Luigi's Mansion 3, to take notice. It's kind of a shame because Control is absolutely gorgeous and it's worth revisiting, especially with the new mode. Number 6, split-screen multiplayer in Fortnite. The Battle Royale genre got a whole new lease of life in late 2017 when PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, also known as PUBG, further refined the every man for himself last stand game mode. This desperate chase for victory over 99 other players definitely caught on, but Epic ripping off the idea for their own horde-based zombie game Fortnite practically changed the face of entertainment. Giving players the option to go solo with a friend or as a team of 4, the battle became as much about supporting allies and teamwork as it did about adopting a lone wolf mentality. However, despite collaborative efforts with friends being encouraged, the game didn't let you play locally in split screen. Instead, players wanting to participate as a team needed separate TVs, consoles, and Epic game accounts to join together. This all changed, however, when Epic finally included the option for players to share a screen and operate from the same couch. Just as we did back in the 2000s and the 90s, but I don't even know how many of you out there were even alive back then. Although each participant is still required to use their own Epic account, and the mode can only be used in duos or squad matches, the need of a costly headset and a strong internet connection is no longer. Plus, couch co-op is just awesome. Number 5. Difficulty modes. Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom. The glorious world of Ni no Kuni is once again in turmoil as King Evan Pettywesker Tildrum is overthrown from his seat at Ding Dong Dell. No, I'm not high, it's just the story of Ni no Kuni 2. The stakes, though, are high, as Evan and his cast of unlikely allies fight their way through crowds of monsters, inching closer to their goal as they pick up battle scars along the way. Well, it would be that intense and epic had it not been for the insanely easy combat. Ni no Kuni 2 adopts a third-person action system in place of its predecessor's fusion of real-time and turn-based brawls. And while the combat is smooth enough, you'll hack your way through dozens of enemies with relative ease. Level 5 provided 2 extra difficulty modes, Hard and Expert, giving fans more of a challenge in the end. By releasing a whole 3 months after the game released globally, though, it was kinda too late. Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom did see multiple DLC expansions after the patch, so seasoned JRPG players will be met with a challenge should they ever decide to return to the luscious walls of Ding Dong Dell. Again, not high, but Ni no Kuni 2 is gorgeous. Number 4. PvP trainer battles in Pokemon Go. Releasing in the summer of 2016, Pokemon Go took the world by storm. Long before the Battle Royale genre was the choice of casual gamers across the globe, Niantic's augmented reality / satnav simulation had us all glaring at our phone screens as we aimlessly wandered around in search of our favorite pocket monsters. Designed with the iconic tagline of "Gotta catch 'em all" in mind, the simplicity of catching Pokemon was at the center of the game's mechanics. Random encounters were replaced by a simple flick of a Pokeball, and the passive nature of the game meant there was seldom any reason for intense stretches of prolonged gameplay. Unless you were trying to get a Charizard in a week. This didn't stop fans from insisting on a way of battling other trainers though, and in December of 2018, a full 29 months after launch, a dedicated PvP mode was implemented for players above level 10 to take part in. One of the core mechanics of any Pokemon game is a dedicated, if a little simplistic, battle system, and the most loyal of fans finally received this obvious feature, perhaps a major reason as to why 2019 was a record year for Pokemon Go overall. Number 3. Online heists. GTA 5. The sprawling sandbox of Los Santos played a central role in the success of 2013's GTA 5, as the luscious landscape was ripe for criminal chaos. The online component, aptly named GTA Online, gave Rockstar's ambitious open world some much-needed collaboration, enabling players to roam the fictional city with friends. GTA Online promised a whole host of activities for players to sink their teeth into, from epic races to complex character customization. One component that was disappointingly not present, however, was the hotly anticipated heists mode. Considered by many to be a major competitor to the excellent Payday 2, GTA 5's heists mode saw multiple delays before finally seeing a March 10th, 2015 release date. While there are scores of players continuing to flock to the virtual streets of GTA Online, the update arrived far beyond what was originally expected. The next generation of consoles ushered in a new age of gaming as the Xbox 360 and PS3 were replaced by their successors. And while Rockstar re-released this newest game in their flagship series onto the newer systems, gamers clinging onto their tatty DualShock 3 were left with a lengthy wait for the heists portion of GTA Online. Number 2. Champions League. FIFA 19. While the FIFA games are always seeing new improvements and features in every annual entry to the series, it was kind of FIFA 19 that saw the biggest change. At least I'm reliably told so, I don't play them anymore. It seemed like a no-brainer that the Champions League, where the greatest teams in Europe test their might against one another, would be a vital component in the esteemed FIFA franchise. After getting the rights to the tournament from competitor Pro Evolution Soccer, developer EA was able to implement the Champions League into Ultimate Team, Career Mode, and The Journey, meaning that the single-player story finally granted France wonderkid Alex Hunter the opportunity to dazzle the sporting world in Europe's biggest football tournament. I'm reliably informed that's a big deal. I don't care about football. The rights to the Champions League were an essential part of Pro Evolution Soccer's success. Yet the lack of the tournament in EA's biggest sports game was immediately apparent to those who spend their time glued to the screen, fueling their passion for the beautiful game using EA's excellent football simulator. Both franchises will live on as the PS4 and Xbox One generation comes to a close. But suffice it to say, the addition of the Champions League into FIFA 19 was goddamn monumental, albeit pretty late. And number 1, full crossplay. Rocket League. No game perfectly provokes the one more game mentality quite like Rocket League. Crammed into short 5-minute matches is intense competitive sports action as you pilot a rocket-propelled RC car tasked with securing victory over the opposing team in the epic sport of car football. Rocket League hit virtual stores in a slow summer for games. The simple gameplay was easy for newcomers to pick up and enjoy, but devilishly hard to master. And after an astonishing reception from those who took a chance on the title, amassing 5 million downloads in its first month alone, it was both a critical and commercial success. It wasn't long before we were all clamoring to play. Naturally, the desire to play alongside friends was overwhelming, so the need for a cross-play feature between systems was in high demand. It was Sony's refusal to play ball though, that saw complications to full cross-play between platforms, resulting in their exclusion from all the festivities. This was remedied in the first month of 2019 though, a mere 3.5 years later, meaning PlayStation owners could finally join in the fun and compete with their PC, Xbox and Switch counterparts. And those are just some games that were late to the party, but turned up with that extra kegger we were so desperately in need of. Glug, glug, glug. Let me know which other games came together long after launch down in the comments below. I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com. Please also check out the WhatCulture Gaming Podcast. I promise you'll like it, and I'll catch you next time.